Cracking down on illegal massage parlors, which loophole businesses are now finding in a new ordinance.
And helping homeless and at-risk veterans. What event kicks off today to get that assistance?
WHBF is local for you. This is Local 4 News this morning.
Good morning, everybody, on this Thursday morning. I'm Redrick Terry.
And I'm Alexandria Ikomoni. Thanks for watching Local 4 News this morning. Let's get started with your local news, beginning with our top story. Davenport City Council members continue to keep a close eye on massage parlors. The council passed an ordinance in March that required all businesses to be licensed. Davenport police have now cited 14 parlors for violations since then. 3 of them reopened.
And now police say there's a loophole in the ordinance that lets some business owners open another massage facility under a different name and go right back to breaking the law. Local 4's Tahir Rahman explains what happened to some of those businesses.
Daily, 4 or 5 times a day, people knock on the front door, try to get in the side door.
When Joe DeSalvo moved into this building on Brady Street in June, he started getting customers before his opening day.
Always asking, I'm here for a massage. The most recent was real late at night, 1, 2 in the morning.
DeSalvo also noticed some odd things in the basement.
The way the doors were put on, the locks then were facing towards the outside.
He learned that the former business, Asian Garden Massage, was one of 14 facilities connected to possible human trafficking or illegal sex acts.
Some tips just from citizens calling in saying that there's possibly nefarious activity going on at some of these massage parlors.
City council members passed an ordinance in March that gave officers like Lieutenant Jason Smith the authority to check up on those business complaints.
Ultimately, this ordinance to make sure that people aren't being taken advantage of, that these women aren't being turned into victims of these massage parlors.
Police are teaming up with family resources to make sure survivors get help.
They were getting them the resources, the places to stay, bank accounts, to make sure that they were safe and not being targeted.
And in a turn of events, a place that was once a concern for sex trafficking is now a place that helps combat it.
A portion of everything from here goes towards giving them a safe haven.
DeSalvo and his wife founded an organization in 2004 called the Home of Grace to help sexual abuse and assault survivors.
What this place used to be, what it's now funding is it's a great turn.
Tahir Rahman reporting. And new this morning, Rock Island officials are trying to figure out what caused a crash that sent 2 people to the hospital.
It happened in Milan yesterday around 3 in the afternoon. A police report says a person was driving a Mercury south on Route 67 when their car crossed over the center line and hit another car going north. The driver of the Mercury was taken to a local hospital. The other driver had to be airlifted to Iowa City. Police aren't releasing conditions at this time.
Right now, a Burlington City Councilman is calling on the community to fight crime in town. Burlington police responded to 12 cases of gunshots this summer. 2 people died and 3 more were hurt. The councilman wants people to be united and fight back.
To trust our police department. They're trying to be as proactive as possible, and we need to, again, it's an old refrain, but we need to rise up and start watching each other. We need to look out for each other, keep our blinders off. That seems to be a tendency now, is we have our blinders on, we see something going on and we don't get involved or we don't report it. We need to report it, and so we can respond to it.
Meanwhile, in Muscatine, 2 high school students there are being accused of making a threat. Yesterday, police responded after Muscatine high school administrators got a text message. It warned them about a possible shooting. The officers say 2 students admitted carrying out a hoax. They were both removed from the school.
Time now is 5:04. Quad City veterans struggling with homelessness can get help this weekend. Bridging the Gap is hoping to get these men and women back on their feet. Their annual Stand Down event starts today, and they'll offer support services like legal aid, employment assistance, and food, all under one roof. Local 4's Andrea Medina will join us live in the next hour with more details.
Tacos, burritos, and quesadillas wouldn't exist without the tortilla. It's a staple for several Mexican dishes. Tony's Grocery in Silvis is home to the first and only tortilla factory in the Quad Cities. The business on Hero Street has been cranking them out for more than 60 years now. Local 4's Andrea Medina reports about the family recipe.
The blaring noises of the machine, masa baking in the oven, and the silver conveyor belt carrying perfectly golden circles. It's a sight, sounds, and delicious smells of tortillas in the making. On Monday and Thursday mornings, you'll find Sylvia Solis and her team in the back room of Tony's Grocery. and they're pushing out
80 bags of taco shells and about half of that in tostada shells. Chips is usually 6 bins, which give us maybe anywhere from 12 to 15 bags in each bend.
And the core of the business, tortillas.
1,800. Yeah, there's 50 in a box.
It's a process she's nailed down since she was a little girl.
As soon as we could count to 12, we were downstairs making tortillas.
Sylvia and her siblings began working under their dad, Tony Saucedo. And before the tortilla business, Tony only ran the grocery store.
There was a need for Hispanic food, for your tradition, things that you did. So that's why he would go to Chicago and buy everything.
But he always wanted to sell fresh tortillas.
Because when we get them in Chicago, by the time you got them here, in a couple of days, some of them would be spoiled. So he found a machine for sale. So he bought it. And then he told the man, well, where's the recipe? He goes, oh no, I just sold you the machine.
And that's when Sylvia's grandpa traveled back to Mexico to learn a family recipe. Then her dad realized
They only made in little portions. My dad had to do big portions.
through several test runs, they mastered the art of making corn tortillas.
Our specialty is non-GMO corn, so there's no pesticide in our corn, which makes a total different taste and look of our corn. It always looks golden.
Tony's Tortillas became the first tortilleria in the Quad Cities area. And 6 decades later, it has remained unchanged and very successful.
I just love it, you know, the pride there that we actually did this in 2 generations, really, you know, and the third is my children, you know, and the grandkids, you know, now they're helping.
Of her 5 siblings, Sylvia's the only one continuing the family's tortilla making tradition.
I'm really proud that I could take it on. You know, it was a lot to take on, but I'm really proud that I could.
And she's still doing a little bit of everything.
I will never be left not knowing this business, I swore, because, you know, sometimes your employees, they'll take off and they don't want to work anymore. I learned how to light the oven, I learned how to cook the corn, I learned how to grind the corn.
Sylvia says it's been rewarding to share her dad's original tortilla recipe with the community.
He had to have perfection, you know, I mean, he loved this job.
And the tortillas continue to be made with the same kind of love and nourishment that her dad had for his family.
He said, when you are doing what you're doing, remember, it's our name, and keep it good, keep it clean.
Andrea Medina, Local 4 News.
And you can find the tortillas at Tony's Grocery in Silvis and at Hy-Vee stores in the Quad Cities area. So really cool just to see how that's made. And it is Hispanic Heritage Month, so it's great that we're learning more about it and checking out those tortillas because it sounds really good right now.
I was going to say, I don't know about you, but now I'm hungry. Just thinking about those tortillas, you know,
Yes.
they're locally made, obviously, and every time I just think about growing up, we had some Mexican food for dinner.
Yes.
Every time you saw that white and yellow label, you knew it was going to be something delicious.
Oh, for sure. Every single time, Zane. So just people who need to get their tortillas today, hopefully we can get some good weather to go with it when they're going to the grocery store.
Yeah, I don't know about the weather part of things, but the tortillas will fine. I'm sure they'll compensate.
Just kidding.
Yeah, long story short, there is a chance of rain today, and we've already got some rain outside this morning. Pinpoint Doppler radars mostly dry across the area, but you head off into northern sections of the QCA. A couple showers and some thunderstorms have popped up. Western sections of Jackson County, nice little cell there. Back into northeastern Cedar County, another one as well. And then riding along the Mississippi River up along the border, a decent amount of rain ongoing at this point too. The major action though is off to our north and to our west along a cold front. So all these storms are generally drifting off to the east and northeast, but the overall movement of the system is off to the east and southeast. So we could see some more storms across the area through the day today, mainly scattered in nature, nothing incredibly widespread. I think we'll dry out by tonight, and then a few more storms are possible through the late overnight hours and into your Friday afternoon as well. So the moral of the story over the next day or so is kind of unsettled weather and warm weather. We're warm already to start off this morning, 70 degrees, probably not quite done cooling down through the overnight just yet with skies still dark out there. Dew points in the lower 60s. Winds, of course, are fairly light at this time in the morning. By the time we get into the afternoon hours, we'll move up through the 60s, 70s once we finish cooling down this morning. Probably a few 80s possible later on this afternoon. High of 84 degrees for the forecast today. Scattered storms, of course, staying pretty warm outside. Temperatures stay fairly mild again tonight, upper 60s, and an isolated storm possible late this evening Then we got more storm chances by the time we head into the weekend as well, unfortunately.
Okay.
And it's warm though, so
I was gonna say,
if you're
yeah.
still a fan of the whole summer type temperature thing, that's still happening.
That's me.
Yeah, there you go.
At this point, though,
Something
here
for
we are,
everybody.
mid-September.
No,
We're
yes,
waiting for
I know.
that
The cool down is coming probably next week.
Oh, great
Okay.
news. All right, same things. Coming up, holiday season is among us? Question mark? Why putting up Christmas decorations could be good for your health.
The time now is 5:11. Your top post stories are right after the break.
You're watching Local 4 News this morning.
WHBF is local for you with Frederick Terry, Alexandria Ikomoni, and meteorologist Ash Simpson. This is Local 4 News this morning in high definition.